discussion. Today's urgency meeting about resilience. I do often remind you, or remind myself, this is the 820 show. I have even mentioned or proffered to you the, imagined or creative, new angle to this station. Of course, it's obviously not a real live radio station, but I did kind of coin that WREZ or KREZ as the call letters, and me as your DJ host, Ming the Rez, at this station. So, of course, I do want to playfully give you those call letters for this station. Maybe this fictional station, but at least the voice you're hearing is true, is mine. It's not AI developed or created or resampled. This is me. And this is the fictional station, if you will, but it is the actual 820 Enterprise. You can verify that at 820podcast.com just for your casual review, and then you can find the library and the history of the other and former and earlier 820 episodes there. But as well, at 820podcast.com, you can get a feel and a more expansive summary of the person you're talking to today, or the person you're listening to today. You get an idea about my background, yes, the successes. You don't hear much about my failures, but you can hear those in the other episodes where I've shared with you those shortfalls, those lessons. How about that? Those lessons that I've had to learn over the past 60 plus years. And despite all that, I've been graced with, granted, extended my time here, maybe as the slowest student in the class or the slowest guy in the foot race. I've been given extra time, extra space. I've been given some consideration, that word accommodation, if you will, for things that kind of woulda, shoulda known back then, like yesterday. Can't get that information tomorrow. Is what I have at my hands, at my disposal right now, each day, each moment, to make good on those things that have been afforded to me. Not just for me to learn and put another certificate or diploma on the wall or another book on the shelf. No, it's for me to take in these observations. For me to digest them, to ingest them, to then let that wisdom, those inputs marinate in my heart, and then be open to what I'm being prompted to do with that information, with those observations. Then the communication part, which I've been loath on being openly effusive in how I'm expressing what I've been told to do, or what I've been guided to do. For example, if you were with me maybe a year ago, and I mentioned to you the lesson I had to receive from my son, of at that time 22 years old, had to teach me about the meaning of love. I thought it was some exclusive, quality that was only for a few, and what I get it is for me to hold on to with a death grip until I was certain that who I was sharing with was worthy. And that termination I'd learned from my son was false and faulty. I didn't have that ability or authority to withhold or determine who and what gets love in my life. And that lesson from him also alerted me to what I've done to myself by not recognizing and letting that love flow through me and then out of me. I know something I could go get and hold on to and say mine is better than yours, or I have more to give and I'll give it out in pieces and piecemeal. It wasn't until he told me, very simply, hey, Dad, you must love everyone. Couldn't believe it. There's more on that story and that lesson from him. If you go into the annals of the 820 Enterprise, you will find a mini-series. The entire 820 Enterprise is all those episodes, the past, several hundred. But also, about a month or two ago, I curated and pulled together those various episodes that touched on the meaning of love. That started with this man, my son, Karan Evan Ahmad. So if you get a chance, you can go back and get more context of what I'm telling you today in this episode. But it was like that, those salient whispers. They say from the babes you get the wisdom. But I didn't know that I would need to be taught that. More importantly, that I would need to listen to be taught. Big difference. You can be taught anything. I can be taught anything. But did I listen? Or did I presume that I already knew, in this case, this example, about love? And I did not. But anyway, let's keep going. My interest today is only to share with you, it might seem random, but I am trying to reconnect, realign these former observations, former levels of communication, maybe even a new lesson for me today as a reminder of why I'm here. Kind of funny, that just came up to me in my head. My son, if you get a chance, check out his book. That was entitled, For a While, I Forgot Why I Was Here. That's his latest creation, a poetry, photography, observational of his life. I think summary in the past 3 or 4 years, but definitely worth checking out. Check out his book. For a while, I forgot why I was here. But that's popped into my head because that is actually accurate for me. Happens every day. I forget why I'm here. I forget what I'm supposed to be doing. I forget why I walked into the kitchen for something and didn't know what it was. Those kind of dispatches or deviations or departures from focus on the present moment, even for me. So I'll leave it with that. Although it might seem a scattered discussion today about what we're talking about, it's always just another aspect or facet of this gem inside of you, that heart that's beating, just a different viewpoint, a different perspective that I promise to change for you in each and every 820 episode. Stay in the current. Stay in the present. Define the beauty and then expose that to yourself, to your creators, and to others as your presence. You know what time it is. And tell someone else. It's always 820.